VirusTotal Academy. If you're looking to learn about cybersecurity, you're in the right place.
Hello everyone, I'm Evan from VirusTotal, and today I'm excited to announce our newest product, VirusTotal Monitor. Now, VirusTotal Monitor is tackling the issue of legitimate software falsely being detected as malicious by antivirus companies. So we all know if your software or your product is being detected as malicious, then your users are going to have a hard time either downloading the software to begin with or actually executing that software, running that software. So what I'm going to do today is talk a little bit more about this problem that a lot of software companies are facing, and then also what VirusTotal is doing about it. So how has this become such a problem? Well, in the 80s and the 90s, all of the malware were viruses and worms, and they were somewhat similar in structure and easier to identify. Now today what we have is we have state-sponsored attacks. So we have governments investing a lot of money into a single attack, and therefore they're going to be more complex, more elaborate. And what we also have is organized cybercrime. So we have groups that are solely focused on finding new vulnerabilities and new ways to exploit those vulnerabilities. So with that, the antivirus companies, they have to fight back. They have to combat this in some way. So what they're doing is actually creating a wider variety of signatures. They're looking out for more file types. They're looking out for more ways to get into the system. Unfortunately, as the antivirus companies broaden their scope of what they're looking for, they're also picking up more false positives. The problem has actually gotten so big that software companies have sued antivirus companies for interfering with their business. So imagine you're a software developer, you've been hacking away at a new product for 6 months to a year. It's finally starting to come together. You have those nights where you stay up until 2 a.m. getting everything perfect. And then you actually release it and start getting some interest, start getting some users. Now, the last thing you want to have happen is for an antivirus company to actually go in and block that. So to block it either from being downloaded or from it being executed at all. It's already hard enough to get users as it is. If they're having trouble with your product, they're probably going to go somewhere else. They're probably just going to go on to one of your competitors. So what can you do about this? Well, this is where VirusTotal Monitor comes in. For the first time in VirusTotal, you'll be able to upload your unreleased software to a private environment and get the detection results from all 60 antivirus companies before you've actually released it, right? We don't want any surprises on launch day or any day thereafter. Now, knowing whether or not the software is being flagged as malicious is certainly important. It does help, but what do you do if it indeed is being flagged as malicious? Well, in this case, you have two options. The first option is that you're able to submit the software and see what it's being detected as, see what malware these engines think it is. Therefore, you can change the software to not resemble that malware as much. That's the first option. Now, option two, this is where the real value of Monitor is, in my opinion. So you have your software on one side, but on the other side of Monitor, you have the antivirus companies right there. So for every file that you submit that actually is flagged as malicious, you're essentially submitting that to the antivirus companies for their review. So it's not guaranteed that they're going to immediately whitelist all of your files, but they do have an incentive to fix these false positives for you. They don't want to handle support tickets. They have entire teams that they dedicate to fixing false positives. So we're really trying to expedite that process and be the bridge between the software developers and the antivirus companies themselves. So you've heard enough of me. Let me actually show you how this product works. This is the VirusTotal Monitor dashboard. As an example, I went ahead and I uploaded all of the files that make up one of VirusTotal's browser extensions. Earlier I talked about how big of an issue false positives are, and a funny example of that is that VirusTotal's own software is currently being detected as malicious by 4 antivirus companies. If you look at the bottom right here, you can see which engines actually find these files to be malicious and the signatures that they assign to each file. Now the dashboard gives you some general information such as how many files are being detected as malicious and if there's any new files that have either been cleared as false positives or files that have increased in detections. If you want to upload a file at any point, you can go ahead and hit the upload button here. This will take you to the file manager, and the file manager gives you an overview of all the files that you have in Monitor and the respective detection results. The last page we have here is the analysis page. This shows you all of the files that are actually being flagged as malicious right now, and if there's any trends over time. So this icon here actually shows you that this has increased in the amount of detections recently. Now VirusTotal scans these files every single day. This file was scanned an hour ago, and one more engine actually detected it as malicious. On the right side here, you're probably used to seeing this. We have all of the antivirus companies' information in terms of clean or malicious, and then the signature. You have this for both files. You can also take a look at the evolution of the particular file. So here, looks like we have June 2nd, 1 detection, June 3rd, 1 detection, but then June 4th actually bumps up and you have 2 detections right there. You also have the information so you can look at different file details. Now I will note that every single thing you see here is available through the API, so if you'd like to do this programmatically, you can feel free to do so. And that's pretty much it for VirusTotal Monitor, guys. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to VirusTotal. Until next time, take care.